All right, all right, all right. All right. Thank everybody for joining in. Another week, another episode, another session of Live at the Barbecue. We're definitely blessed with some knowledge on this call, on this Zoom. But before we get into that, let me introduce myself. My name is Lawan. I'm not gonna go with my AKAs like I normally do. I'm just gonna stick with Lawan, or AKA E-Wash, E-Double. All right, and I'm joined here with my brother.
Boy, Gunny. Yeah, that's it.
Gunny?
That's it.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, so we're joined in on our Zoom call this evening. We have Miss Kisha Ellis, and our special guest is no other than I like to I refer to it when I'm talking about him to other people as the real estate tycoon.
No, don't say that.
Mr. Welby Accely.
How you doing, man?
Good, man. Nice to talk to you again, my brother.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'm applauding you.
Yes. All right.
Thank you.
Listen, y'all don't know. I mean, for you guys out there, like getting Welby to come up here and sit down for this is like this guy's time is so crazy. You see, he's sitting here impatient when he know he could be on the computer or doing something, but he's taking the time to sit here with us today to drop us some knowledge.
Yes.
Thank you, Welby. I appreciate you.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying? You're much appreciated this way.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys as well, man. Thank you very much.
All right, so I mean, just kind of like before we really get into it, if you don't mind just giving us kind of like a snippet of what it is you do, your expertise.
Well, everybody knows me for flipping houses and also building up rental portfolio. So I basically real estate.
Okay. Real estate.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a group of people here, and it's kind of like a lot of us right now, especially with the whole pandemic, is like we got a lot of us that's on the same playing field right now. But like one of the main questions that we want to know is like, how do we get started? Like what's some of the first steps when trying to get into the real estate realm to build finances or capital to possibly purchase a house?
Well, the first thing I'll tell anybody is, if you're talking about getting started, it really starts with your mind, the way that you think, your mindset. I know a lot of people hear that, but I don't know if a lot of people actually understands that wording, the mindset. So you have to really put it in your head that this is something that you truly want to do, and I think that you need to identify what your strong suits are and what avenue in this business do you want to start in, because it's multiple avenues that you could start in the business with. So you kind of would have to identify those things.
Right. All right. So those are that's the main thing you need to do from the jump. Get that mindset.
It starts with your mind. It starts with your head first, because this business is the actual process of this business is not rocket science, but at the same time, it's not easy as well. And you have to have a lot of tenacity. You have to have a lot of heart. You have to have a lot of belief in yourself. You have to be prepared to be told no a lot more than being told yes, but not allowing that to stop you. It starts with the way that you think, to be honest with you.
Right. So another question, well, kind of like that I have. What about an individual that's probably, I want to say, you got the mindset, you have the drive, but you don't have the capital? You know what I'm saying? How would
there's no such thing. I know a lot of people promotes on YouTube and on other videos talking about doing business with no money. There's no such thing as doing business with no money. You have to have money or find money somewhere. So regardless if you're finding the money and raising the money, you working, or if maybe you have a rich uncle or a rich mother, father, or if it's that you hustling bottles of water, whatever it is, you need to have some sort of capital to get started. So when someone says that they don't have any money, the truth of the matter is most people I've ever corresponded with or talked to or mentor or consult, the notion of that them never having the money isn't true. It's the fact that money that has ran through their hands, they never did anything productive with it,
Right.
constructive with it. So then they'll say that they don't have the money. I haven't met a single person, especially in this country, that's working that hasn't had a bag fall on their lap for whatever reason. I don't know. It could be through work. It could be through hitting the lottery. It could be through an accident. It could be somebody passing in your life. It's a whole bunch of things. And I don't know. I have never met one person that's never had an up or increase in the monies that maybe they didn't have before, that didn't have an opportunity to do something with it. So when those opportunities come, the question should be, what are you going to do with that money? Are you going to sacrifice and actually invest that money, or are you going to take that money and ball out for a couple of weeks or a month or two and look like you're getting the money, you know? So, you know.
And you know what it's funny you should say that, because like I've come in contact with a lot of people that that's one of the things. Oh, I don't have the money, or I never come in, I don't make enough. Or but you know, when you think about over the course of maybe even a year, how a lot of us come in, like you said, we come in contact with money, but what do we do with it? What do we spend it on?
Let me tell you, I'll give you a perfect example, right? And I tell women, I tell Kisha, women are a lot smarter than us men. Women have a lot more, they're a lot more creative than us men, right? And if you, I guarantee you, most of the women that or maybe are on your platform, where you know maybe have a child or two or three, and we all know what happens at the end of the year, every year. And you know what happens with Uncle Sam, what happens every year. And I've met women that they might get hypothetically $10,000 every year, and they know that $10,000 is going to come. And I will tell them, I make a deal with you. Sacrifice one strong year with me. Sacrifice one strong year, so that for that 1 year you sacrifice, you'll get 20 years of a benefit. Would you do it? And if they tell me, yeah, I tell them, like I'm about to tell you, you already know it's already at the end of December. Come early January, you know you're about to get $10,000. You prepared to take that $10,000 and put it away like you never had it and sacrifice for the year? No partying, don't buy a new car, don't go out with your girls, don't get your hair done every other week, whatever it is. I know it's uncomfortable, but would you be willing to do that? If you'd be willing to do that, I'll show you in a year how you went from not having no money to having $25,000, $30,000 saved. Would that change your life? And if you just do simple math, if you're making $10,000 every year on IRS, and then during the course of the year, if you sacrifice and you save yourself up another $5,000, by this time next year, you're gonna get another 10. 10, 10, and 5, there go your 25. Would you be willing to do that?
So, Welby, if somebody was willing to do that, okay, so if you had to coach somebody into doing that and ask any female who's probably listening right now or will listen to this after, I'm like, oh, that sounds so good. You know what I mean? I'm willing to take that sacrifice. I'm willing to do that. If they was willing to do that because they wanted to invest in a 3-family house and maybe put themselves on with their kids on the first, second, or third floor, what have you, and rent the other ones, what would someone need to bring to the table to close on a deal at a comfortable point on an average house?
Here's the thing, right? I think that whole point.
Eric, did I step in on you? Were you?
No, you're fine.
What I want to do is it goes back to what we talk about sacrificing and the mindset, right? So I understand the question that you're asking, but the question is too open-ended, because that question could only be answered because what you can do in New York, you might not be able to do for the same price point in California. So just to answer that question and say, hey, you know, if you have X amount of money, you can do that. It's too much of an open-ended question. The example of what I was just describing to you is once again about your mindset. And another thing about getting your back off the wall. Too many of us live check to check. Too many of us live biting our nails every month. It's time to pay that rent or it's time to pay that electric bill. And too many of us live with our backs against the wall. So what I was just describing is a way to get your back off the wall so you can breathe. When you can breathe, your mind gets a bit more clear to the path that you want. Because my path might not be your path. You understand what I'm saying? It might not be what I did to get to where I'm at right now might not be your path to do it. Not to say that real estate isn't the avenue that you're going to take, but it doesn't mean that my path is exactly going to be fit for what you're going to do. But
so I'm going to use me as an example. I mean, and let's just take, you know, what we mean you have
I
talked
think
about.
you're going to be bad because you know I'm on your ass every day. Up until yesterday, I told you, yo, listen, they're going 3-family right here. You better buy it.
Yeah, I know. Right, and I was telling Eric that I say, Eric, you don't even know Welby is forcing me. He's not forcing me, but we about to get this property. So I'm like, Welby, and this is an example I say with somebody else. I'm like, Welby, oh my God, I'm not ready. Like when he sent me the link and said, this is the house we're gonna buy, I did the Monique face, you know, Monique on Precious, when she's like,
Right,
so I
right.
did that dip with him, telling him, like I wasn't ready, but it's almost like he's forcing me, like, yo, you're gonna be ready. He said, I told you, 2021, you're gonna have your own property, and what I'm working with him doing, I'm going to be doing on my own. But I keep telling him I'm comfortable with working with him the way I'm working with him and not needing anything on my own. But so I was asking if someone was listening to this and seeing this and said, you know, Welby, everything that you just told me to do, we're 2 years later, I did everything that you told me to do. What would be your next step for them to do at that moment if they followed your first one? And let's say we're moving forward to 2 years from now.
Well, the thing is that the next step, if you did have X amount of money, like that property that I was explaining to you and I was showing you, I'll give that example. They have so many options right now with FHA mortgages, conventional mortgages. There's different programs out right now that, believe it or not, that same property, if you were only to do an FHA loan on that property, and you wouldn't live there because you already have your own house. So you would want to rent the place out, all 3 apartments out. You probably would be able to walk in buying that property for about as a down payment for about $8,000, give or take. It will cost you to actually be able to put as a down payment, plus of course closing costs and things of that nature. And you'd be able to walk in on that property for maybe about $15,000 if you really wanted to do it. If you really wanted to do it.
You use the house we just talked about yesterday as an example.
Yeah, but I wouldn't let you do that. You asking me the bare minimum. I wouldn't let you do that. Not that it's not bad. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying to you. It's not because it's not that it's that what I'm just bad. It's not bad. That's your entry point. But I mean, I'm rocking with you with what we're doing. So I'd be more aggressive with you because I want to make sure that you would win that much more. So
right. So Welby, give them an example of, and Eric, Eric, stop me if you got questions, Eric. So I mean, just because so Welby, okay, give them an example of, let's talk about Fairmont. So just so they get an idea of how your mind frame works when it's down for you making your money, how you don't play with your money, and you are so successful in who you are today because of this strategy that you have behind your houses. So tell them about Fairmont.
Well, just to be a backtrack a bit, mostly what everybody knows me for is flipping houses. So the way that I approach when I'm obviously, like I said, you need money. You need some sort of money to be able to acquire these properties. So when you talk about that 3-family, I had just recently flipped a house. And from the flip of that property, I made, I don't know, maybe $80,000, $90,000 profits on that property. When I found that particular property, that property was in foreclosure. And the property, I do a lot of major work. I get a lot of major work done. So I already knew that it was going to cost me X amount of money to buy the property, rehab the property and put it on the market. So when I acquired that property, I put down 20% on the acquiring the property. And by the time I finished putting 20% down, rehabbing the property with minimal work, the mortgage on that property ended up being about $960 a month. That's including taxes and insurance. And the property is generating about $3,500 a month. So that property in itself profits about after expenses, because a lot of people don't speak about that. It only counts after everybody's paid. Mortgage is paid, taxes is paid, insurance is paid. I profit roughly about $2,500 a month after expenses on that property.
I got a question. Go ahead.
Sure.
All right. So my thing is this: is it number one? Can this be done like by an individual by themselves, or do they need a team? Like, would they need it?
If you're talking about doing business, if you're talking about becoming in here being a businessman or businesswoman, you want to start building out your team, but you don't think about it to the point of what I got. I got about 12 employees now, right? But I started off with one. So I don't want people to compare and say, damn, that guy Welby is doing X, Y, Z. I want to jump to doing that because it took me years to level up to doing that. So when you're saying about do you need a team? Yes, you need a team. You need a team. Your realtor is part of your team.
Okay.
A potential contractor that you're going to hire is part of your team. Your mortgage people is part of your team. So yeah, you do need a team, but more so than anything, it's very easy to buy anything that you want, buy a property that you want. But you need to understand the process of buying correctly, because in this business, you really make your money on the buy, not the sale. You need to know how to acquire the property properly so that you understand. Because Kisha will tell you, I'll literally walk up to a property, stand in front of the property. I don't even walk into the property, and I could tell her a very good estimate of what I'm gonna profit on this property when we're done. And I hit it pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So but yeah, having a team and starting out with a good team and stuff, that's very important for yourself as well.
Okay.
Well, Welby, tell them how many properties you own in Waterbury at this point.
Hold on.
Okay.
Gunny got a question.
Hi, Gunny.
So I heard you speak about like
We can't hear him, Eric.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, cool. So a question, I heard you speak about like for the single mother who gets the check at the end of the year for her to get started, that's something for her to down payment or whatever, startup money. What about somebody that's like, say they home from jail? They got the 40-hour week job, but it pays the bare minimum. Person that's they got the mindset, but it's just like, where can they go to get that help?
Well, one of the things I have family members that is in the same predicament that what you're saying, right? Listen, you might have a big homie that believe in you and that he might have some money and he's going to invest in you, right? You might have your mother that believes in you and she knows that the equity is in the house. And she's like, baby, I'm gonna pull out the equity in the house and I'm gonna trust you with this and I'm gonna let you go about doing what you're doing. If it means that you have to go and start wholesaling, if it means you have to go and start working for somebody for free so that you learn the business and you learn the game before you start spending any money, that's what you have to do. There's no easy answer to clearly say, hey, just do this and this is what's gonna happen. You gotta get your grind on. It's just what it is, man. Listen, I was a security guard. You understand what I'm saying? I was a security guard working in a nursing agency. I wasn't born with rich parents or anything like that in my life. You know what I'm saying? So whatever I'm describing and I'm telling you guys, it's because this is what I had to do myself as well. I didn't have a good friend of mine to come and say, hey, well, you know what? Here's 10,000, 15. $100,000. We're gonna put this in your hands and let you get busy. Nah, I stayed down until I can get up. So I grinded for years, saving up my money, saving up my money, saving up my money. You know, so if anybody's looking for an overnight success in this business, the odds of something like that happening is not gonna happen. But if you put in the work and you put in the effort that you need to, you will get results. You definitely will get results, but just be prepared. The path is not as simple as you would hope that it was going to be, but it's definitely possible.
Right. And I think that's, people just got to know, like, what I'm saying? Anything, the thing is, anything that's worth, you hear it all the time, the little cliche, anything worth holding on, you got to work hard for. But in actuality, you really got to work hard for it. You know what I'm saying? Once you obtain it, you appreciate it, and hopefully you're able to hold on to it. But, when you put that work in, like you say, what I'm saying, the reward, will definitely come at the end.
People watch me, or they look at me today, and then you hear the representation, the responses. Oh, wow, Welby, I love what you're doing. I appreciate you and stuff like that. But I always talk about the hard times. I always talk about the hell I had to go through and back. I got wiped out multiple times in this business. Multiple times. I got wiped down. I tell people back in 2011, I only had $300 to my name. You know what I'm saying? So the horror stories and going through the hell, I've been through it. I go through headaches right now, So right. Don't just look at the end results. Don't look at the fancy cars or the money or the jewelry and stuff like that. You have to go. I had to go through it to be able to obtain that, So I always want to stress with people that whatever I'm doing, you could do it too. I'm not any smarter than you. I'm not any better than you. I'm not, I'm not more special than you. You can do the same thing that I've been able to do. You probably do it better than me. You know what I'm saying? But just understand that you just gotta put in the work. You have
to. Right. Right. Okay. One more
question. What would be the main three things you would
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Now, with your experience, what would be the main big three things that people in the beginning they overlook that could be costly, but it's something like, how something small could be something major? The three main things that somebody starting off that they might overlook that they gotta pay attention
to. As far as what? As far
into
as
the real estate game. Like if they want to make their first purchase on a house, what should they look for?
The first thing that most of the mistakes I see people are doing, they buying fucked up. They buying wrong from the door. They don't have they making an emotional decision rather than a calculated decision on why is it that they buying that property and cost. I would say that's definitely the number one. Two is not controlling the money, not having real true control of the money. And it's very easy for you to let's say you paid a contractor $15,000 to do your kitchen, and you pay the guy cash to do it. And let's say during the process, you're not happy with the work that he's doing, but the money's already spent. The person has no recourse of getting that money back. So that $15,000 is already out the window. And then now you still have to complete doing the work on that property, and the money's already been spent. And I guess what I would say the third, working with the wrong people, man. I would say working with the wrong people.
Things you can definitely, especially if you don't know, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't know that you're working with the wrong person until you're kind of like knee deep in it.
And I tell anyone, if you don't control the money, you don't control your project. So if you don't have control of the money, you relinquishing control of the money to someone else, you have no control of the project. And then when you have no control of the project, it could snowball into a mess.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You had anything else from there? That was definitely the first thing. Okay. Okay, okay, hold on. That's what I'm about to do. So we had one of our audience members they said paper trail. They look for the paper trail.
I'm not understanding the question.
Well, she wasn't making a question. She was she was adding on to one of the top things that somebody should watch out for when they first looking to get in a house. And so she was naming that they should look for a paper trail, see if the house they own taxes on the house and etc.
Well, that's at the acquisition. That's at the acquisition that you're talking about. So that all of that will if you properly go through the channels that you're supposed to, you're gonna find all of that prior to even buying the property. So that's all part of understanding if it's a good property that you're buying, who owes what, your costs on the acquisition, things of that nature. So that's all at the beginning stages of acquiring the property.
Yep. Any other questions? He did. You couldn't hear. Right, right. Um, but everybody good over here? So listen, Welby, again, man, I definitely appreciate your time.
I appreciate you too, man.
It's been a blessing. You know what I'm saying? You was able to kind of like educate us on some things we didn't know. Hopefully some of us in the room, we got a little bit of foundation and some information on when it's time to take those first steps to purchasing our first, property, home or whatever.
Are you guys all in Waterbury? You guys all in Waterbury?
Yes. Yes.
Let me tell you one thing, right? You guys are sitting on a gold mine. You hear what I'm telling you, right? And you guys should be taking full advantage because that's your town. I'm a guest there. I got the utmost respect for everybody in Waterbury, but I'm your guest. So you guys need to take full advantage of your towns because Waterbury is a gold mine. So if I can, being from New York, come there, be respectful, of course, and acquire properties, you should be able to do it way better, way faster than me, and obtaining properties.
Yeah, but Welby, I think you say that. I think that's what some of their questions for some of the people who you are educating right now. Maybe a lot of them don't have the resources nor are not in a good financial state right now and maybe they maybe they see what you see in Waterbury, but again, maybe they don't have that uncle, that cousin, that brother who can loan them some money. So I think that was one of his questions to say for someone who just got out of jail, who wants to be knowing that real estate is the way to go, and he don't have a family member that can say, hey, I can give you this loan to get in your feet. What is one good resource? And we know we can't go to the table with no money. You got to go to the table with some money. And of course, there's so many different programs that you can purchase, and Waterbury is a gold mine. If you had to give him one good resource that he can leave with right now, having no money, he got money, but maybe he's living paycheck to paycheck. What would be your one influential resource that you will leave him with right now for him to even try to get started to maybe looking to start buying some property?
You need to have income coming in.
He has a job, but he's living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, I'm giving you a scenario.
Listen, I know some people probably aren't gonna be happy hearing me say it, but then you gotta go get a second job too. Maybe you gotta get a third job too. When I was working in security, I was buying cars that were a little bit beat up, getting them fixed and selling them. You know what I'm saying? I was working at the supermarket packing bags and keeping the change and saving it while I was working.
Okay, so but Welby, what I was trying to get you to say, I get what you're saying. So you could just tell them due to the pandemic, and when you know we haven't had that up yet, because I was going to bring Eric to one of them, your boot camp classes that you have, and I think you should let them know that about what you do, your Zoom classes too, but how Eric, remember the boot camp classes that I told you that Eric does, and how successful a lot of your students were, Welby, that took the classes. I was there.
They're doing well. Yeah, they are.
So I think that you should let people there know who, or someone who is doesn't have the financial resources, that once this pandemic is over, they can start saving right now, because once this pandemic is over, you're going to get back in the swing of things. I mean, tell them your story, how you buy this house and they walk you through getting it fixed up, and your boot camp class, and they come out buying the home themselves.
Well, for what Kisha's asking about the boot camp, what basically I do, it's well, at the time I have multiple different ways of doing them, but I have a 6-week course I was doing at one of my properties I would acquire and flip. So what I would do is acquire a property. Before even touching the property, I would have 15, 20 people that would have to commit to me for the next 6 weeks, 6 Saturdays, 7 Saturdays consecutively, that would have to come to the property every week to see the progression of the property. And then basically within that entire process of coming out there, what they're doing is they're actually seeing the process through my eyes, but they're also seeing it themselves. So they come to the property every week, and every week they see the property. They'll understand how I acquired the property, how much it cost me to purchase the property, who did I go to for the funding of the property, how much it cost me to rehab the property, and then I would have them be introduced to my contractors, my realtor, my attorneys, et cetera, et cetera. I give them complete access to my team. And every week, consistently, they would come until the property is 100% completed, on the market, ready to sell. During that course, I helped to show them how to open up their own company, the LLCs or the S corporation. I help them, if they're qualified, to help to get business funding. I walk them through the mindset. I walk them through that whole play, and then upon completion of the property, and when the property actually sells, their newly formed company and my company enters into an agreement where their company actually gets its first credit for a flip, but with my help. So that's the process with my boot camp.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think, Gunna, that would answer your question when you just said someone who is just coming out. And I wanted Welby to end. I know Welby got to go, but I wanted Welby to tell about his boot camp class, where a lot of his students who go to his boot camp class are coming out, they're buying houses. They have bought a few houses already where they flipped them and they made money off them by attending Welby's boot camp class. I had the pleasure of going to these classes and witnessing myself, and I was going to invite Eric to one of the classes, but then the pandemic came, because I wanted Eric to see for himself just how knowledgeable Welby is and how he's so successful. And if you followed his advice through all his steps of his boot camp class, you were walking out of there with probably in a month or so flipping your own house.
Well,
so
a couple of the guys already did, a couple of guys already have, and a few of them have already became millionaires already, literally.
Yeah.
And this is from them never doing anything to what they're doing today. So listen, all I am, I'm as transparent as can be. I'm an open book on my process. I'm an open book of what I went through, and anything I ever talk about, anything I ever promote, is something that I've gone through from firsthand experience. So
y'all heard it. So I will keep Eric posted on all Welby's upcoming boot camp classes, and Welby can keep everyone who's there. And I know probably everyone who's there right now is probably the majority of his family who's in the audience right there. Once Welby start back, but you also do a one-on-one Zoom. Welby, I'm sitting here telling your business like I own it.
I mean, you're a good interview. But yeah,
I'm telling your kid.
I also do one-on-one.
You see, I just take control and I go.
That's good. That's why you're Kisha. But I also do online mentoring, online coaching with Zoom calls as well. And the people could go to my website, www.atmybest197 at mybest197.com. and they could click the link. They could click the link, or they could go to my Instagram, the same name, and they'll be able to book a one-on-one online mentoring with me, and we could do this the way we're doing this right now, but it's actually just us, me and that person, and I dig into you deep. And I'm gonna make you answer some serious questions that you need to answer for yourself, because the goal is to just see you successful yourself, So that's
Hey,
what
just so you
my
guys
goal is.
know, I'm learning. So hopefully in 2021, I'm gonna be a millionaire too, right, Welby?
There's no reason why you can't.
But no, I'm
There's no reason
gonna
why
be a
you can't.
millionaire, right, Welby?
There's no reason why you can't.
Welby.
There's no reason why you can't.
But
Oh, man.
no, I tell you guys, Welby has been. No, he been pushing me. And I just told him I gotta jump out on the ledge. I gotta get out of the fear. Cause I always thinking me having to put up my money, then end up failing with it. But I know as long as I'm following his lead and doing what he's telling me to do, I'm gonna be okay. So I'm gonna be a millionaire in 2021.
Hey,
Listen,
look,
you put it out to the world, you
listen,
grab it, you put it out to the world.
and listen, Welby, I think you inspired a lot of 2021 millionaires in this room. So, Cousin Kisha ain't gonna be the only one. All right, but no, again, you know what I'm saying? I can't thank you enough.
Yes.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for the knowledge. Keish, thank you. You know what I'm saying, for putting this together.
You're welcome.
And we're gonna be definitely in contact with you. We got your information. We're gonna share that with our listeners and our followers, and you're gonna have some students in that boot camp.
Look at all his splits, what he did. Look at them all his stuff is on his Instagram page, right? Welby, high five.
If you check Instagram, you see I post every day. I always have some content out every day, so it's a really good spot for you. If you wanna pick up a lot of information, you go on my Instagram page. There's a lot of information on there, a lot of it.
Sure. All right, man.
You definitely.
All right, guys.
All right, man. Y'all have a good night, and thanks again.
Anytime, man. You guys have a good one.
All right, man. Take care.
Thank you.
Much love.
All right, Welby, I'll call you in a minute. Eric, all right, see you later. Make sure y'all handle that bag with care.
Yeah. We got it, guys.
Handle it with care. Don't play. Cheers. I'm drinking some tea. You guys enjoy. Eric,
All right,
I'll call
thank
you.
you.
All right. Bye, Ghana. See you guys later.
All right, bye-bye.
No, don't do that.
Man, I can do that if I want to.
No, nigga, you can't.
All right. So coming back, for those of you who have been, with us from the first segment, this is the second segment, live at the barbecue. And once again, my name is Luan, aka L.
What? You reintroducing yourself?
Well, for people who probably be tuning in on the second part.
Nigga,
If you heard me say that.
YouTube show. This ain't no
It don't
TV
matter.
network, nigga. Ain't no commercials and that. Ain't
Hey.
right it. Like it literally like
Hey.
I'm still gunny.
Well, you be gunny. I'm still gonna introduce for people who might just happen to be clicking on and just there's new people here. They got the same clothes on.
The show. They clicked their 45 minutes into the show. They went to YouTube channel and said, "Let me go to 45-minute mark. That looked different."
Yeah. Well, hey,
My bad,
in case y'all missed it, I don't mind saying my name again. But obviously this part we have two special guests. Without further ado, we have in the cut zone, Jimmy and Sabrina.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Now, how you guys doing today?
Doing fine.
Sabrina, yourself?
I'm well, thank you.
Don't try to get on there. I'm well.
Soft spoken too.
Soft spoken.
Minute ago, yo, get my drink.
Yeah. Who blocking my car? Oh man.
I have two sides to me.
Two sides? Okay. All right.
Depends on which one you want.
Hey, bring them both.
Hey, pull up another chair.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. We've been trying to track y'all down for a while now. I guess this is pretty much kind of like perfect timing. You know what I mean? The end of the year. You know what I'm saying? A lot has been going on within this past year, and like everybody's dwindling down, so it's not too much that we can be doing now. So it's kind of like a gift and a curse, or a give and take. How you guys been adapting to the year so far as a whole? Wait, not to cut you off. Sorry.
But to cut you off. Not to
But to cut you off.
To cut you
Wait,
off.
in the cut though, can you guys just briefly explain what in the cut is?
We established in the cut around 5 years ago, and we started in this room, and the idea basically came up. We tried to describe the demographics, the location, and we played around with like 3 or 4 different names, and in the cut made the most sense because basically if you're at this location and you're trying to give somebody directions here.
Yo, it's in the cut though.
We didn't have people end up at KFC. Their GPS brought them over to KFC, and
Right.
we didn't have people. I'm at the bowling alley.
Yeah.
At the wine yard. So, in the cut, that name itself made the most sense.
Perfect.
And we wanted to spell it a little different. You know, in the beginning when we established it, people thought we were a barber shop.
In the cut. Oh, the
The
cut.
Yellow Pages kept sending me stuff in the mail about advertisement for a barbershop, and I had to keep.
Wow.
We're not a barbershop. Not a barbershop. So that's basically how we came up with the name. It just made the most sense.
Okay. All right.
Now, for those that don't know, because this is a local thing, this used to be a pool hall.
Yes.
This was Waterbury's pool
Pool
hall.
hall.
This
Pool
was,
hall.
you know,
Yeah.
people came out of
Yeah.
town
You see the
to come
windows.
here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
You
like,
right.
I love it here. I ain't gonna hold you. Like,
He's drunk. Take your keys.
damn. What's your job again? He's drunk. So he's sad. I ain't gonna do nothing. But I don't even know. Yeah, it's still picking up somehow. All right, but anyway, how did y'all come across this place?
Well, we're gonna tell you up front and we'll keep it 100. We didn't get this place and establish it right off the rip as a party hall. Right off the rip, this was a poker spot.
I remember.
We were doing
they
our
had the
poker
table?
games, and we were jumping from bar to bar, paying bars to host poker games. And, finally we got to a point where we're tired of going bar to bar, paying bar owners. And our last bar that we were playing our game at was in a bad part of town. And we felt the need to
And that ain't good for
get our own.
You want people to come with money if
Yeah, there you go. So we wanted to get our own. So we started, and even the first year and a half, it was all poker here. And then we started with one party, and then
it kept growing.
And then we're like, we don't need poker no more.
Right.
We gonna.
So y'all seen this space open for rent.
Correct.
And then,
Correct.
smart. And so now what I'm looking at, I know that people can't see, is like a divider. Like
Yeah.
we know that there's another room.
Yep.
So when you first got it for rent, was it just one side?
It was just this room here.
Okay, so the wall was already
Yeah,
up.
the wall was already up.
Okay, and then
Yep.
I like that.
remember-
Even the name though.
Yeah.
Cause and somewhat, thank you, sir. Somewhat it's. I mean, if you from where we from, and you speak how we speak, and the cut, that's natural to us.
Mm-hmm.
But like that, like you said, that's perfect. That's location, name, man, the marketing, like that's almost like Like that's where you look back and be like, this must meant to be. Like
Yeah.
I know when y'all came up with that name, y'all was like, shit, that's what? like what?
Yeah.
This this definitely meant to what? This is like it's so perfect. Like everything goes hand to hand with it. Like I like it here. Like and it's even crazy because I work for the jobs where I work in different towns, and when they tell me they have events like baby showers and stuff. Word? Like, yeah, in Waterbury. Why are you at my neck of woods? Where you at? In the cut. You know I'm not in the cut. Oh, shit. Like, so it's a big thing in itself, even though it's still in the cut. Like, and I just want to commend y'all for that. That's big. I salute that. I just admire that. And it'd be the little stuff that touched me. Like you said, even just the name is just like, yo, to me, that's genius.
So, to add to what Jimmy was saying, me and him had a conversation. I was like, we can't continue operating like this.
Right.
And a lot of times, especially in our black community, we'll start things and we don't understand how beneficial it is to register our business.
Right.
And when we went to see about the LLC, it actually was the purpose of your business. So I think I either called Jimmy, I don't know if we were together, and I asked him, well, what's going to be the purpose of the business? And he was like, well, I don't know. I said, well, let's go be a party room.
Party room.
Yeah.
That's smart. That's smart.
Not even knowing
What
it was going to
down the road,
like,
like,
to be.
yeah.
But that was,
And everything fell
if
in
I'm
place.
correct, and everything just fell in place.
It's crazy you said the poker thing, and for some reason, when she said she went to LLC it, whatever. A vision of Harlem Nights just came in my head.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wait, which?
The part where Eddie Murphy was the young boys.
Oh,
When he was at
in the cut.
Yeah. I don't know. That's old people stuff right there. My
Because
bad,
when you
man.
think about it is too, is that when we do have situations, right? What is it that we don't have? We never have no papers to show nothing.
Right.
No.
So it forced us to look like even more criminals, and we can't take the proper procedure to make sure our business is straight, and that's why we end up losing more at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we never
They ain't even
fully
legit. Close the doors.
Yeah, that's like a drug dealer get robbed. You gonna call the cops, nigga?
Right.
What you gonna say? Like,
Yeah, right.
like, so that's very important. See, most people don't think about that, but that is an important thing right
I'm
there.
sorry.
Oh, no, there's no problem. You have a fabulous show right here, baby.
Yes, make sure your phones is off.
The mic ring a lot louder than that.
We always need somebody else to go off first before we think about ours.
Yeah.
So that's basically how In the Cut started, and we started to move towards being a party rental hall. Now, from 5 years ago, we have a team that consists of about 10 people.
Okay.
We have a full service venue, which we have all types of events, weddings, birthday parties, baby showers, people like you guys, y'all rent out our space for different things. We also have someone that they came and did like a nail class for a couple of days.
Oh, wow.
She came from Puerto Rico.
That's dope.
So we have a lot of different things that goes on here from day to day that a lot of people don't really know about. They see us being busy probably from like Friday to Sunday, but from Monday to Thursday we have someone that comes in and they have like a cardio class. We have someone that comes in and they actually train young children how to meditate when they have certain behavior issues.
Oh, okay.
We are definitely community-based where we have different organizations, 501c, especially when it's geared towards the kids, where we give our space openly. We believe in doing things in the community. We don't really speak of it, but we do open our doors to what makes sense and what's going to help the children in our community.
For sure.
Right. That's good. You say that, cause the children. One of my fondest memories is me growing up. I was a sports person, but I was a football kid. And growing up in my projects, everybody was basketball. Everybody, I literally was the only person that wanted to do football. Everybody was basketball. Y'all not important right now.
Cure the carry in a minute.
So, and my fondest memory is, and even back then, was my man right here, Jimmy, volunteering, giving back. He was coaching the basketball team, and he was one of the people that helped me grow into loving basketball as much as I love football, because he showed me, and not only did he show me, he gave me the opportunity. You know, he gave me the opportunity to go out there as a kid, to go out there and actually make mistakes and not feel like, you know, I'm the only one that don't know this game. I shouldn't be out here, you know, getting harder. And, you know, shoot, thank you, Jim. I turned out well. I appreciate it. But, you know, giving back to judging by the logo on that hat.
Make sure you get this.
But giving back to the community is a big thing, and like I was saying earlier, like you, and just speaking to what you were saying, is how y'all do so many things. Because like I said, speaking to people in different cities, and they talk about this place, and the giving back to the community part is the big part. So how can someone starting off where y'all came from, starting with getting to a situation y'all in, to where they could give back to the community? If the question, I know the question is a little in my head, it sounded better, but
I don't think that you particularly have to be in a position of being a business owner, right? There's so many things that we all can do, especially at this time. If you know something, do something about it.
Right.
I mean, we all can probably look at just someone in our family that needs a helping hand, or have situations where their kids need guidance. And I think that's part of the problem also in our community, because it's not like when I grew up in the 70s, don't want to tell my age, but where Miss So-and-so was able to say something to your kid if they saw them doing something wrong, or and we just wasn't out disrespectful.
No.
It didn't matter if you knew the adult. It's just certain things you just didn't do. So, which is different.
Right.
You know, it's totally different now.
Right.
I mean, as an adult, you're pretty much scared to say something to these younger than
Matter of
It's
fact,
no longer the
it's
phrase,
almost like they're waiting for you to say something to them.
for them,
Like
right.
I wish you would say
and then
something.
they're gonna pull out the camera. Yo, get your camera phone, get the phone
Yeah.
ready. You know, it's no longer the phrase, and you probably don't even hear it as much. It takes a village to raise a king,
So
a queen.
I think we see this like every weekend, you know. The first thing is that you want to provide a safe environment, and you want to provide something nice to the community. But sometimes me and Jimmy just look at ourselves on weekends because there's no control.
I'm about to segue, no control. Is that from maybe an event going on?
Absolutely.
So I wanted to ask, what's like the wildest event y'all seen happening here?
Wildest?
Chippendales come through. What's
man.
happening? The dancing beer.
So I'm gonna keep it like this, right? Sometimes when you feel that you're familiar with somebody, right?
Okay.
You tend to not follow the policies and the procedures that are in place,
Right.
because you're familiar with the person.
Right.
And you would think that sometimes people wouldn't put you in a position where you can possibly cause your business harm, but those are the people that do, right? Because it's
Amen.
the people that you're familiar with that you think will never
Amen.
put you in that position. So our rule is, if I say yes and he say no, it's no, and vice versa. Because 9 out of 10, if we stick to that, we are always in a good place.
Right.
Right?
And basically what she's trying to say is, there's been times where we've second guessed, you know, we've had doubts about something.
And
Usually if you have a doubt about something,
don't do it.
follow what your gut is telling you. And, you know, there's been a few occasions where we said, damn, initially I had turned that idea down. And then we, later changed our minds and went with it. We should have followed our gut, and we said no in the beginning.
What type of party was it?
We said no in the beginning, and
when we was around, was baptism when we walked out, was a couple dildos.
You know what? It's let's just say this, right? Because I'm gonna keep it classy, right? Sometimes it doesn't matter, and this is the truth. It doesn't matter what type of party.
Right.
It could be a baby shower. If the mindset and people come to the hall with their issues, anything can pop off.
Right.
That's right.
So it doesn't matter like what type of party. It's all the people. And all we ask is for our community to respect the house, right?
Yeah.
Just like if your house, this is our house, right? So we treat this place, our business, like this is our house. So we ask you to come in here and have a good time and help you create memories for you and your family, and leave all the other stuff at home. So sometimes, most of the time, it has nothing to do with the type of event. It's sometimes just the people.
Right.
And it's hard to decide on who you want to rent your place. So sometimes you just have to go through a few things, make those adjustments, and hopefully every event just can go smoothly.
So I got a question. So, I mean, we all know, like, we all have bad apples in friends. We got bad apples in family. We got bad apples in co-workers and stuff like that. But especially, like, we come across, like, bad seeds, especially in business. You know what I'm saying? You can have 100 people, but you might have one or two that's a little flaky. Now, however, when dealing with, like, okay, the business that you guys have, when it's, who's the one to make the hard,
Decisions?
no, the hard confrontation, like, hey,
Who gotta
look,
be the bad cop?
yeah, who gotta, or do y'all swap out?
We both have had our days.
Okay.
It's probably the person that says no.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this, and this is, I'm guilty of this, but I'll say it like this: if we're having an event, and it usually happens more so next door. If we're having an event, and I'm up in the DJ booth, I'm playing music, and I'll see a kid jumping on white couches.
Ooh.
I try to get her attention. I will try to get her attention.
Hey, no, that's not. Okay. How do you really have to get?
Something like that. Something like that. Yeah. It's something usually like that. Or I'll tell you like this. That's a big room next door.
Yeah.
So in the summertime, the AC is on. Wintertime, the heat is on. Everybody that comes to a party, no matter what race, that door is wide open. So in the summertime, the AC is on, the door is wide open, air going out.
Yeah.
Wintertime, heat is on, door wide open, and it's freezing in that room. Door wide open.
Oh, she do.
Yeah. Because I'll mention it at the beginning of the event.
Yeah.
Nobody
Don't
pay
matter.
attention. Yeah.
Don't matter. And we're in the barn. So, we.
I think she bit me tonight when I was coming in.
Wait, you said she bit me.
Yeah, like, yo, I'm bringing stuff in. I think I have to let the door crack or something like that.
That door was wide open.
In my mind, it was cracked.
Just enough for my whole body to get through.
But for the most part, I'm the bad cop.
You the bad cop?
More.
More so, and I think more so is because this is Jimmy's home.
Well, no.
And he knows a lot of people, right? And usually the woman is the
Yeah,
the
there you
bad
go.
cop.
There you go.
You know,
Yeah.
but for me it's
let me tell
I'm
you.
cut from a different
Yeah,
cloth.
if
so
I'm gonna tell you like this, if I gotta be the bad cop,
you ain't gotta-
you done went way
Yeah.
overboard.
But see, the thing is, when the guy got to be the bad cop, 9 out of 10, that's
yeah.
because you want some
Where
physicality. in there. You want to
where
flex
the
some
breaking
muscles.
point now?
Yeah,
where-
Yeah, like
I might have to ask you to leave the place.
when
you
the
know,
female's the
if
bad
I
cop,
gotta-
it
yeah, if
ain't
I-
too much
yeah.
physicality that's gonna happen. It's gonna be maybe some arguing, but the hands is like as long as we keep the distance, they ain't gonna get to each other.
Right.
But a guy, you gotta worry about somebody sneaky. Argue with this guy. I hit me.
Yeah.
Looking at your team funny. Look at
You take
That's
the
why I'm
good-
up
you
in the
take-
DJ booth so I can see him,
you
coming.
take-
Yeah.
You take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
You know, you have your good weeks, you have your bad weeks.
Mm-hmm.
When things do happen, you play back probably 100 times. What is it that you could have done different?
Mm.
When you are at a place every weekend, people don't realize your sacrifice. You know.
I was gonna say because you guys pretty much give up like your weekends for everybody else's to make those special moments for their weekend or whatever it is they're doing. In most cases, like if it's a party or something like that, it's on the weekend.
Yeah, it's
Either Friday, Saturday or whatever. But those are the times that you guys are giving it up. So like, how is that adjust? Like, how do you guys adjust with your family?
It's my work hours, bro.
well,
That coin is coming in.
for me, I felt like it was very important that I was here for a year to just see, because I felt like within a year, especially once we got the place over there, whatever adjustments that needed to be made within a year's time, I will be able to firsthand see it. It's different from when you have someone managing the place and they telling you what's going on,
Right.
but when you see it, you make the adjustments as you go, right? So for like a whole year, I guess almost going into 2 years, I've been here every weekend. And it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. But you have, and I think COVID makes you pretty much just check yourself
Put things in perspective.
with a lot of things. You put a lot of things in perspective, and you realize that we can't, close it up for a month or 2 weeks and take time off and be okay. The things that we were scared about before, we're in a position where we could do that. And even if we weren't, you realize that it's necessary.
You got the keys. Okay.
So yeah.
Extra. You ain't even pay attention to it.
You got the keys.
Nobody even noticed it. You gonna point it out.
I'm trying to keep going.
That's called professional right there. Look, wait, hold a minute. Professional,
I'm making
veteran, rookie. Look.
I'm making sure you get home straight. I make
Hey, the camera right there. Hey, watch this. 84. Watch it.
So you live and you learn a lot, and family is more important. And I tell people, I've convinced people to cancel their events. I've called many of our events and told them my concerns.
Right.
We even stopped taking money. Like, people were still willing to have events, even with the 25 people when we went back from phase 3 to phase 2. And
It was like,
Jimmy
nah,
and
this
I
got to
constantly
go on.
on the phone, making phone calls, talking to our customers. For me, I choose life over death any day. And, like, you can't control your people. Like, you know what's going on in your household, but you don't know what's going on with people that's coming to your event and how they actually live. And we've worked too hard and we've sacrificed too much for anybody or allow any event to put us in a situation to
Right.
where our doors are closed. Because at the end of the day, we do this for Waterbury to give us, and whatever you consider us, somewhere where we could come and we could create memories for our family,
Right.
for generations to come. So we want to continue to keep these doors open. And at any means necessary, we're going to do that. We're not going to put ourselves in a position for anybody. So we'll close the doors first, and we'll see y'all when everything is good and everyone's vaccinated or whatever. And then we be ready to rock and roll.
So let you about to say something?
No, go ahead.
So with this whole COVID season though, we've all been like faced with like, this is like the time of uncertainty, but with you guys, because like, I don't know if they label you guys as frontline, you know what I'm saying, individuals, but you guys are on the front line. Like, you guys are like hands-on. You are dealing with people that, you know, book parties, come in, they got their crew, you know, their friends or whatever. Now, how do you guys deal with like, you know what I'm saying, in terms of protecting yourselves from, you know what I'm saying, you're doing something good for somebody else, but, you know what I'm saying, you can get somebody in that can be COVID. Somebody could book the hall, knowing they COVID, and then come in or whatever. How do you guys deal with that? Like,
knock on wood, we made it through this COVID mess. Seeing on average 250 people a week, on average. Some weeks, you know, well, some weeks we had close to 500 people in. So we've been real fortunate, and you know, but you know, we've tried to practice everything as safe as we can, keeping the room sanitized, having masks on hand, having, you know, different things on hand. But we've probably now come to a point where, you know, we're gonna probably start to wind it down for the rest of 2020. 2020 has been the worst year in everybody's life.
For sure, for sure.
So we're gonna pretty much slowly wind down 2020, and you know, we're gonna go into 2021 hopefully with a better, you know, the world and everyone will be in better shape, and we can get back to having events with 100 people in the room and things of that nature. That's really where we want to get back to.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick question. Probably can help out. Well, y'all don't need help, but y'all doing good, man. What you said, 250 a week? Whoa! Independent numbers? Woo! That's platinum. Y'all platinum out in these streets. How many, say the other room, how many can that hold? And my mind's just, for some reason, it's going
we don't really have an exact amount. I know we did 2 or 3 months back when we were in a different state, where we could have more people. We had a wedding.
Yes,
we had a wedding of about 130. That wasn't maxed out, but there was about 130 people in the room.
I only asked that because I'm thinking, like we said, for state of Connecticut or say Waterbury and maybe 50 miles radius from there.
Yeah.
Just shoot local talent, local acts.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, man, this nice spot. Y'all up and coming. Nice spot to rent out. See, you know what I mean? See how much you get in the room without losing any money. Business people, they work with you. You know what I'm saying? They look. They do community work. You know what I'm saying? That's
She put a mask on.
She
about to go on. She's like, let me shut up. Let me raise my mask up.
It's such a habit. You know what I mean? When it's all too long.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, that new norm life. New norm life. But I did want to touch on. I did want to ask a question. You said this is Jimmy home. Where you
I'm
are
originally
you from?
from East New York, Brooklyn.
Oh, New York
I came
person.
to
Okay.
Waterbury 17 years ago.
Okay, so you Waterbury now. You can't even claim to be that no more. You Waterbury.
She probably said, "Now home is home."
You know, but like, and let me just tell you something. Like, home is in the heart, right? And I live here. I live here. When I first came to Connecticut, I lived in Fairfield County. I lived in South Norwalk,
Okay.
right? And then I've been here for 17 years. I live here. The most I've probably even been associated with Waterbury is because of Endicott.
Right.
Because for many years I worked in Stanford in the Greenwich area.
Right.
And then my son traveled the country and the world playing basketball. So for the most part, I was never here. You know, I just pretty much woke up here, packed the luggage bag, and was out, and then I traveled quite a bit for work. So I've never been here.
Right.
But the last 5 years, I've been here out of the 17.
Right.
But my home is East New York, Brooklyn. I love home. I just know that he's very passionate about his home.
Right.
And he's willing to do what it takes to
Right.
make Waterbury better, especially when it comes to the upcoming millenniums.
Right.
To show them something different.
Right.
So that's what we're about. We're about community, we're
Right.
about family, and we're about creating memories for generations.
For sure.
That's what Endicott is about.
I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
And we do everything to do that. We're very passionate about what we do. We have an amazing team. We could not do this without them. They're here. If I call now, somebody coming.
Somebody gonna pick up.
Somebody coming.
And that says a lot, though. That really says a lot. If you think about it, with the times of, it's kind of easy to get in touch with just anybody. Like you could DM Holly Berry or whoever, but you think about your close ones. How many times you say, "Yo, it took you 5 hours to respond to a text," or "Yo, I called you and you still didn't respond to yesterday." Like that means a lot to be able to say, "I could pick up the phone and call and somebody's gonna answer." Like I seen a meme and it's didn't think much through it until I actually thought about it. When it says, "If your life depended on it, who would you call?" and they had to pick up. And the sad part is, I thought about my friends and said they probably couldn't call me either, because sometimes a lot of times I look at the phone like, I'll call them right now.
And so I think especially more so now, what's going on, pick up your phone.
Facts.
You just never know.
You never know.
Facts.
You just never know. And I'm
Facts.
sure we've been very fortunate to have all these events, and as often as we take COVID tests, that they came back negative. It's scary.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, this is real. And when you have to quarantine from your grandchild for 2 weeks because there's too many people that you came in encounter with, even when you try to stay away sometimes, it's scary.
Yes.
You know, and
That says it all. It
it's
is.
scary. And like I said, we called. We was like, look, cancel.
Yeah.
And in March, when we was first hit with it, and I'm gonna tell you another thing. I don't know if Jimmy wants me to go there, but I want him to chime in on it. I think he's comfortable with it. We at Endicott, people got some real situations. Either they're faced with the family member's death. Just like we deal with happy times, we deal with a lot of sad times, right? With our customers. And we had some really good customers that said, look, we're going to party with y'all next year. We're going to have another event.
For sure.
Don't worry about the deposit. But then we had some that called, and I was like, look, this is what we're going to do. Are you okay with me sharing this? Okay. This is what we're going to do. It's okay, because I can stop.
Hey, that's a typical man and woman relationship.
Yep.
Hey, man, you good?
Go ahead.
So basically what we did was, Jimmy was really passionate about it. He said, look, if people have situations, I don't want to hold the money. Let's see what we could do to make sure that we pay and we return funds. So me, okay, that's what we're going to do, but we're going to do it in a manner that we okay. Right? So it's different when March came and nobody knew what was going on, right?
Right.
Yeah. Beginning stages.
Right, it's the beginning stages. No one knows what's going on. No one knows what to expect. Okay, so what we did was, if your event, so we have some people, you're not holding back pamper money, baby shower money, certain
Right.
things you're not holding back. People losing their loved ones, they're trying to bury them. You don't hold that money. You do what you have to do to get it to them as quickly as possible. But for some reason is, the community has to understand that when you're a small business owner, everything is working capital.
Say it again. Say it again.
Everything is working capital.
When you're a small business owner.
Everything is
Can you
working
break
capital.
that down for them so they can understand?
So working capital is saying, if you give me a deposit or you pay funds towards your event, it's my choice as a business owner to use it however I choose to. If I have a separate IRA account, or I have a self 401k account, or I choose to pay my employees with these funds, that's my choice. So it's not automatic that when we receive funds in whatever amount, it's just sitting in an account.
People think it might be sitting in an escrow somewhere, just
Right.
waiting
Yes.
to get back to you.
Right.
So
So, God has been truly good to us, and we've been blessed, and we know it's only Him. But
Amen.
we were able to give people their deposits. We didn't hold people's money unless they asked us to.
Wow.
And even sometimes after they asked us to, I just had someone call me and say, look, Sabrina, I need XYZ. Someone just shot up my house. I gotta move. What do you do?
Right.
Do you do the right thing? Or whatever. We always do the right thing, even if it's not beneficial to in the cut. Because we believe that we're gonna survive and we're gonna be okay no matter what.
And you know what? Like, you know, when you do the right things, a lot of times the right people see that you're doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that come through these doors, you know what I'm saying, not saying everybody has your best interest in mind, but there are some people that come in like, you know what, I know Jimmy, he's good, brother. I know him from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I used to play ball with him, or used to, you know what I'm saying? I know Sabrina, she's a good sister. I see her around, you know what I'm saying? She's, moving around. But it's like, now you guys are building a track record, so it's like, I remember I did an event there a couple years ago, something happened, and, you know what I'm saying, they was really understanding. They, they helped me out, and, you know what I'm saying? But, so it's like, now you guys are building foundations in relationships. So you figure, with other people, it's just like, it's black and white. Nope, you know what I'm saying? You ain't doing it. Boom.
Right. It is
You
not,
drive.
the thing is,
You
it's
guys
black
understand
and
it.
white, and it's not even questioned.
Right.
But we've had a few phone calls where we were threatened. You want to keep it real? We're going to keep it all the way to 100.
Yeah.
Is that the way? You ask us to be professional because we're business owners, but we have a family just like you do.
Right.
You don't have to threaten us for anything because what you fail to realize, we already did it.
Right.
We didn't hold on to people's money. Even when we rightfully could have.
Could have.
Because no other place was giving you back your money. Right? So my thing is, and I'm going to keep it 100. If you got to threaten me because my thing is policies and procedures are everything.
Amen.
So if you have an event in March, and I'm saying to you, your event was this was since March, and your event was in November. So a month after your event, you're in line to be paid. And that's what we did. I think got one more payment. My last payment, I think the thing was November 27th. She's due to get paid December 27th. She's getting paid December 15th because I want to make sure that she has what she needs. What's today? The 15th?
Yeah.
Well, I probably forgot to make her payment. But by Friday,
We gotta take a pause on that
no, let me because I'm very transparent. But by Friday, I'm gonna make sure she's paid. But you know what? She had booked 2 events with me. Decorations, hall. She had like $4,000 with us that she paid 6 months before her event. And you know what? She called and asked us how we doing. How's everything
She's
working out?
respectful and
What's going on in her life? I'm not calling you for the payment, but I just want to know how y'all doing. How y'all getting through this?
Right.
And those are the customers that we have.
hey, you know what? It's the I guess I guess we're gonna go deep, whatever. But to touch on what you said earlier about this being Jimmy's home, so Jimmy knows a lot of people, and it just makes you think about when they go, the dollar stays in the Italian community for X amount of days, and it stays in this community for X amount of days. But when it comes to the black community, it stays in there for about like 10 hours, whatever the case may be.
6 hours, 7
But
hours.
it's amazing that it's, and I kind of seen this too, because as the company that we rock with for the fam, as everything is, we have family members and everything. And I seen somebody post the other day, right? And they posted a mask with somebody, whatever the case, and they said supporting local, supporting black. But it made me think about all the things we got between t-shirts, masks, hats, and everything else. They didn't say they were supporting. They just said where mine's at. And I looked at the post and I was like, I'm glad you supporting black. I'm glad you supporting all that. But it was like, your own family member, when it came to ours, you said where mine's at, not how can I buy one. And you never wore one because I never sent one. It's ironic with black people, or minorities, colors, browns, whatever the case may be. Like even here in Waterbury, we have Little Italy, which is Highland Avenue. They get to paint the street with their flag colors. They have, if you think about it, they really don't have to leave that neighborhood. They have schools, they have churches, they have grocery stores, they have houses, they have everything in that little neighborhood.
Everything, parks.
You even think about, you go down to Baldwin, South Main Street. They get the Puerto Rican flag, a Puerto Rican Day Parade that get to come down that side. Like, we have nothing. We have nothing. The only thing that could come to my mind, and I'm looking for somebody to tell me I'm wrong. Only thing that come to my mind is with everybody else, and I don't hate. I'm actually glad to see that, and maybe we could take something from their blueprint to add to our blueprint. But when it comes to us and them, they don't have a problem with, and even if they do, it's not outside of their. They don't air their dirty laundry, but they don't have a problem with say, okay, we're starting this thing. You're gonna be the head, so you might get paid $200,000 because you're the head. Hey, you're the face of it, so you're gonna get $150,000. You ain't gotta do no heavy lifting. You just gotta be the face. You're popular. You're gonna get X amount of dollars. Now everybody else, this is what we're gonna make, but we gotta help push this. And it goes, nah, F that. He making $200,000.
Why he doing this? Why does? Yep.
Nah, what do you mean he get $150,000? I look just like he do. Shit, I look better. I got more girls than he did in high school. Like that, this, and that would literally be the conversation. I got more girls than what he did. Like it, and for is how do we get out of that mindset? Because you could see it be disgruntled with other races, but they don't go as far as like I'm gonna dethrone him to get that spot. It's just
they make it work.
Yeah, I just don't think it's fair. When it's my turn, I'm gonna change this. Until then, I got to carry my load. Cause I heard I want to say it was Gilbert Arenas or whatever. Somebody was they was talking about bench players.
Yep.
There's players on the basketball team that sit at the end of the bench. They're veterans, and they're just there. They're collecting $3 million a year just to talk to the players
In the locker room.
Yeah, they keep the cool, make
Keep
sure
them calm
everybody's
on the bench.
And the guy said, he said, yo, no matter what weight I had to carry, all the weight had to get carried for us to see this final destination.
Yep.
Whether I had to carry 2 bags and you had to carry 5, those 2 bags still had to get carried. So if I wasn't there to carry them, you would have still came up short on whether it would be those 2 bags or what. Like, and that's the mindset I feel like we're having the trouble getting to. Is there, and I know that was long-winded, but anytime I see people that's business owners, because it's somewhat, we all say we come from the same place. Whether we all, might have had a little assistant here, somebody probably was better in school here, or somebody shook the right hand here. Whatever the case may be, we still all come from the same place. Whether we had that helping hand or not, we still had to fight some obstacle because of what we are, whether we had to deal, and 9 out of 10, a lot of times, I'm not gonna say 9 out of 10, a lot of times it comes from our own people. Because it's our own people that we look for support the most, that wants it the free the most. Those the ones we was like, no, if you do this though, this can help the brand. But they look at it like, but because you know me,
But guess what?
I should get it for free.
Based on what you're saying, right? It's like the ones, you know what I'm saying, that should probably help us is the ones that kind of like keep us stagnant.
That's what I'm saying. So how do we, but they do that, how do we get out of that mind? I feel like, see, the thing is everybody say the issue.
Well, how do
I
we
want to
move
come with
past
a problem. I really feel like that's our problem. You look at somebody like a Jay-Z. He starts Tidal. He gets these. It's still so many knock against him. And it's like, but you got Apple Music. You're supporting Nike. They don't need y'all. This right here benefit. Yeah, he's probably gonna get the most profit right now. But what's trickling off of him gives more to you and your offsprings in the long run. But we rather go, forget him. I'm going to Apple because he's black like me and he's no better than me. So I'm going to give my money to Phil Knight.
I think you could touch a little bit on that.
And I think in the business that we're in, luckily we haven't come across too much of that. For the most part, I think, as a whole, as Waterbury goes, I think everybody in Waterbury wants to see us win. So we haven't encountered a whole lot of that sort of say. They definitely want to see us win. There's not. We're fortunate at a time to we're not in a market by ourselves, but in a way we kind of are. I'll tell you, once COVID hit, when COVID hit, COVID put a lot of businesses out of business.
Yeah.
They put a lot of halls out of business. And we've been fortunate to still be, not the last man standing, but we've remained out there. And again, the people that have stood behind us this whole, they definitely want to see in the cut. Waterbury is definitely supported in the cut.
For sure. We've kind of gotten away from this part what I'm about to bring up, the last couple episodes that we've done, but I like to get back to it. And the segment that I want to kind of like bring up right now is "You Must Love Me." Now, the "You Must Love Me" is saying you think it once about somebody throughout the years. It could be yesterday, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. They could be living, they could be passed away, but something that person did or said to you or inspired you, but to make you say, that person must love me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So we call this the "You Must Love Me" segment. So I'm gonna ask each of you, you know what I'm saying, who would that person be that you would,
Why don't you set it off?
wow, good way to.
Because you put it on us. Yeah. You already thought about it. Like,
okay.
So you set it off, give us a chance to think about it. Set it off. He said, wow. Ask us what this is. Just say, wow, who said so you? Wow, how dare you? Put me on the spot.
I know throughout when we've been doing this, I've gave a lot of community figures to represent my love me part, But I'm gonna say today is, you know, uh, I like to shout out to my late mother, Daisy Marie Arnold. You must love me for just kind of like, you know, sacrificing, you know what I'm saying? Not even sacrificing, but, you know, allowing your oldest son to, you know, go, you know, live with, you know, his father or whatever, parents. And, you know, for women, that had to be kind of difficult. But to know that, you know what I'm saying, I potentially was in better hands by doing so, you know what I'm saying? So that's like a deep love to say, you know what, I love you so much that, you know, I'm gonna have you go, I'm gonna allow you to go there, you know what I mean? And, you know, just looking back and looking, you know, trying to look present and forward and stuff like that, I have to shout out my mother, Daisy Marie Arnold. You know, you must love me and I love you.
Oh, so me? Shit. Oh, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. My mind, it races, you know, throughout my life, you know, I feel like, you know, losing mommy at the age that, we did, not to be bittersweet, but I feel like, you know, she can't be replaced, but a lot of people stepped up. So in my life, try to think of this. You know, it could go so many ways, and then you try to think of an instant. So, you know, he thanked mommy. So I'm gonna thank my other mother, my mommy, my Doris. You know what she did when mommy passed, and you know, Uncle Arthur took me in. You know, being that technically probably not being blood, taking another kid after raising 5 of your own. That was adults already. Like you figure 5, I'm done. Like
Right.
you know, you know, 5 kids, I'm done. You know, but at the same time, I mean, shoot, I mean, you got another kid without the labor part. You know,
You was
what
no
I'm saying?
cupcake neither, so.
I'm telling my story.
That's it. Oh, my bad.
I ain't interrupt you, y'all. I ain't
You was a
interrupt you.
headache, boy.
You still going though? Let me cut that part with one more. But yeah, you know, my Doris Jones, like I said, to take somebody in, you know, whether family or not, and then to treat them like family, and then not only treat them like family, but you know, treat them like your own is just
Right.
I mean, what, like you said, could nobody can replace mommy, but you know, for people even stepping up and filling that void, and it goes back to what we spoke of earlier. You know, it take a village to raise a kid. You know, and when fortunately one went down, somebody stepped in to fill that role, and that's definitely appreciated. So, you know, rest in peace. Miss you. Love you. Hopefully, I'm making all y'all proud. I'm doing my thing. I'm trying to carry this dude on my back and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, he heavy in the stuff like that. That was good. Ah, man. So, Jay, who you got? You can thank me.
Oh, you, Jay.
Listen,
Yeah.
I don't mind if you thank me. It's okay. I hope you see the meaning in your life as a kid.
He was my most scrappiest player.
Yeah.
He brought that football mentality on the basketball court.
That was his calling.
He was a scrappy.
Still tuning in, man.
Nah, for me, this is real easy. I'm the oldest of four brothers. I'm the oldest, and hands down, my brothers have. They've throughout life, they've always made it perfectly clear who, you know, even when they got older, became men and fathers, you know, they always, you know, showed their respect for the oldest brother. Always. Ride or die, fight. You know, Nobody would be. They'd be kind of stupid to say something to me
Right.
with one of my brothers around, because that then became their
Right.
issue. Hands down, my brothers.
Good.
Hands down.
Good.
That must be how he feel.
That was cute. That was cute. I give you that.
For
Okay,
me,
Mr. Reed.
It will be my dad. My dad calls me every day, probably a few times a day. And even when we're busy at the spot or during the week when things are going on, and I may not pick up right away at times, he'll call me until he gets me. I never ever needed validation from a man. To this day, my father tells me how special I am, how
Nice.
beautiful I am, how he's proud to be my dad, how great of a mother I am, how great of a person I am. He always tells me to never stop being who I am.
Right.
I used to question myself about me being so giving.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I didn't like that part of me. I just felt like people took advantage because I was so open and giving and thoughtful. But I realized through my almost 50 years, I'll be 50 in June, that that's just who I am. That's how God made me. But my father will be hands down. He's amazing. He's taught me so much, far as what to look for in a man, how to know you have the right man, how to make sure that you're treated right, what you should expect and what you shouldn't deal with. But my father is totally amazing. He reminds me every day, when I literally say every day, of the woman that he raised. So, and he tells me how much he loves me. So, I don't need that from anybody else. So I'm all set.
For sure.
So we'll be
Thank you.
All right, with that, guess we'll take it out.
I'll take
So,
it out.
you know, what I want to point out, you know, with this whole COVID thing, you know, so as we wrap this thing up, make sure you reach out, text, call, email, social media, DM, whatever the case may be. You reach out to that person that means a lot to you, that person that beats on your mind, that you always say, yo, I'm going to text them back in about 5 minutes or maybe an hour. Then next thing you know, it turns into a day. Because usually those are the people that we care about the most. And as you can see, tomorrow's not promised. So make sure you reach out to those. And, you know, best of wishes and prayers out to those affected by this COVID and any other thing that's going on through life. Because, you know, COVID just came, but, you know, life been happening since we've been born. So, you know, anybody that's affected with life, you know, need a head up, you know, we're here for you. Shout out to you. Pick your head up, you know, and after every dark storm, there's a brighter day. And on that note, you know, we want to give a shout out to Miss Sabrina, Jimmy for the owners in the cut.
In the cut.
This is where we be at on a monthly basis,
Yes.
so it shows you how much we love it here. I know the rooms look different,
Yeah.
but you see it. Huh?
We in the same room, we just moving around.
They show you the options they give you. You know, so make sure you check out In The Cut. I'm sure you can find them on Facebook, In The Cut, anywhere else. Instagram, In The Cut. Make sure you check out for them. Make sure you go to For The Fam, Instagram, website, all that. Check out for us.
That's right.
Make sure you go to Gunny For Real, the number 4 on that Gunny For Real on all social medias. Check us out. Make sure you check out my man's Times behind the camera, the edit.
Go.
King Times series to be oh my, all right, too many drink. All right, put this cup away. King Times series on Facebook and all social media. And
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
We out, man. Appreciate your time, man.
Thank y'all.